Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Property Investor Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Lanfear, and you'll notice that this is a different theme of podcasts. This is a series of podcasts about the inner circle all stars. So the fabulous human beings I've had the pleasure of working with during the course of this year, and I've definitely got one of those for you now. Vicky, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Lovely to have you back. Now, tell the good people, who you are and what your business is. That's probably a good starting point.
Okay, so my name's Vicky Howden. I got into property probably about a year ago.
Mhm.
Um, I was working a 50 to 60 hour week teaching and decided that there was more to life than that. So I left and we had a bit of a life think, I suppose, and decided that we wanted a bit of a better work-life balance. So we decided that property was somewhere we wanted to go. We didn't quite know what that would look like at the time, but we kind of dove in at the end of last year, and we've been on a bit of a journey with it so far in 2025. Looking forward to 2026.
Yeah, very good. Um, and it is interesting because I think a lot of us are at these transitional stages in life. I think it's that time of history that we're in, which is people are kind of reassessing what we want. And I think like immediately out of the gate, like kudos for you for making that difficult decision. So many people don't, they
Yeah.
can continue along a path that is not their path, but it's the path they're on. So kudos for being brave. So tell us a bit about like what was it like when you started? What were kind of the headaches, the things you were dealing with?
Okay, so we released some equity from our house. That was the only way we could get into property, and decided we would look to buy a HMO. What was kind of the buzzword when we were looking at property and what we wanted to do. We'd done some training, but we decided we quite liked the idea of a HMO. We
Mhm.
weren't interested in like a big 6 bed plus. We wanted something a bit smaller, like a 4 bed. So did a bit of research, and last year at the end of 2024 we put an offer in on one. The process did not go how I thought it would go. So we were using bridging finance because we needed a lot of renovation work to it, so we knew that what we were going to do to it would give it an uplift in value. So I wanted to use bridging finance. That was definitely challenging. And you quite rightly said to me, these challenges are good because you'll learn far more than if it just went to plan, which was correct.
Mhm.
Um, so we'd spent the year basically, the sale went through. We got a project manager in because we knew that we didn't want to project manage it. It was very important to us that we weren't giving ourselves another full-time job in an industry that we didn't know loads about. So we had a
Mhm.
really good project manager. That bit was relatively plain sailing. And then by summer, the property was ready and it was ready for tenants. That was an interesting process, trying to understand how to get the tenants in, choosing the right tenants. But I am pleased to say that we now have a fully refurbished and fully tenanted property.
Congratulations. And I always say that first one is by far the hardest
Yeah.
because there's this constant stream of things that we don't know that we don't know. And everything is a surprise. Even if, we've bought the course and we've seen the pathway and all the rest of it, it's the actual doing is always a bit is always a bit different, isn't
Yeah.
it? In all things in life, in my experience.
Yeah, and the only way you get these experiences by actually doing it. You can do all the courses in the world, but
Yeah,
it's going to give you the hands-on experience.
100%, 100%. Um, and so, how did the program help?
Um, so we were kind of at the very start of the process of buying the property, and I was looking for some kind of support. I wanted a bit of mentorship and to be around other people that had maybe already done this or were on, in the same boat as us. And that's exactly what it gave me. It gave me basically a safe space to ask any questions because no question is a silly question, but when you're new to anything, you do feel silly asking these things. So it was just nice to have the support of those 9 other people and get people's opinions and feedbacks on the process. And what you don't know, you don't know until you ask, and you can. There's loads of different experiences that can happen from one scenario. So just knowing that I could send a WhatsApp message to someone and I'd quickly get a response and some guidance, meant a lot.
Hmm. And it does make a difference, doesn't it? Because a plan coming into contact with reality, there are so many little micro questions that come up, like what
Yeah,
order to do things in, where, if you've done, I mean, the people in the group who've done maybe 100 refurbishments, I suppose.
yeah,
And so they could instantly say, this is the order, and
yeah.
that definitely makes sense. And in many ways, I wish I had had more of that at an earlier stage in the process. So, how are things now? I mean, you've got a full up and running project. You got the first one under your belt, so
Yeah.
congratulations onto that. How are things now?
How are things now? So when the project finished at the end of the summer, before we got the tenants in, um, I did feel a little bit lost about where I was going to be in the property space, because I had got kind of sucked into the marketing of, you can no money down deals, you can earn, you can
Mm.
own lots of properties without putting any new money in, you can have 5K months, all that kind of stuff. And none of it was resonating with me. So I wasn't quite sure where I was going to fit. So I did do a little bit of work on myself. And through conversations with the group, it kind of came to light that my skill set kind of laid in the thing that was deemed a bit unsexy in property, and that is kind of the admin side of it. I've spoken to lots of landlords now, and I don't think I've come across one landlord that likes the admin side.
Mhm.
And it's something that they kind of kick down the road and put off as long as possible. But that is where my skill set lies. So I realise that I probably need to utilise that. So I want to be able to support other people, kind of giving like hints and tips as how not to put it off, how you can make it more manageable and accessible in smaller chunks, but then also do like a service where I can support landlords and they can kind of offload some of that to me.
Mhm.
Um, and it's only through going through the process with you and other inner circlers that I've realised that that's where my skill set lies. And at
Mhm.
first I was a little bit unsure because it's not talked about, it's not sexy,
Mhm.
and I was it didn't feel like it's what I should be doing in the property space. But through a lot of work on myself, I've realised that this is what I am good at, and so therefore I should share this skill and help and support others, and give others kind of that headspace of not having to worry about their admin and feeling like it's in a bit of a mess. So it's something that I can offer to people.
And I think that is magical because I think everybody has a gift, and it's about unlocking that gift. And I suppose I challenge you and say it's more than admin. Your strength is detail,
Yeah,
and there are lots of people in the property space who, if they were honest with themselves, know the detail is not the thing.
yeah,
Having been in property for decades, I can tell you that property is a detail business.
yeah,
And I'm not going to be doom and gloom because that's not my style, but I would say the new legislation that coming in is going to make attention to the detail of the operations of your business beyond non-negotiable. You
yeah,
look at the entry-level fines for the
yeah,
most simple infringements of quite complicated pieces of legislation.
yeah.
It's going to be all about the detail. So the future, what does the future look like for you?
So at some point we will be hopefully getting another property,
Mhm.
but we're not putting pressure on ourselves at the minute to dive straight into another one. We're kind of enjoying the fact that this one has kind of come to fruition. So we're having a little bit of downtime, and I'm trying to celebrate the fact that because in the business plan that I came up with at the beginning with your guidance, you asked us to come up with like a mission statement and a purpose statement. And I went back to it recently. And so it said to provide high quality, comfortable, and reliable accommodation that fosters a sense of community and enhances the living experience for our tenants. And when I read that, I was like, that's exactly what I've given. I've had text messages in the group from tenants, supporting each other when the oven randomly broke, and asking if they wanted them to go and get them food. They've just all put the Christmas tree up together, and I was quite surprised they asked for a tree for the house, and I said I'm more than happy to provide one. They've done that as a household. So that brought a smile to my face. It's like I've done what I set out to achieve, because property wasn't always about making loads of cash flow. Yes, it's kind of a long-term investment for us, but it was about creating a nice, comfortable, safe home for people, and I feel that that's what we've managed to do. So I'll be kind of basking in that for a little bit longer. But yeah, hopefully we'll be moving on to another project. Not sure where it'll be. I don't think it'll be another HMO straight away.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll definitely be there somewhere.
I love it. And so, I mean, what it's so interesting to hear that you had your purpose. You know, one of my things is I think we've got a crisis of purpose, and you're really clear about your purpose. You managed to articulate it, and you've achieved it. And you think about how maligned property owners are in this current version of reality.
Yeah.
Um, I think if more people were to have the experience that your tenants are having, the sense of community, that people care, that it's, a safe and warm and welcoming place, I think over time that will change. So yeah, congratulations to you. A remarkable achievement, I would say. Um, so if somebody was thinking about inner circle, obviously the world is bombarding people with information, as we know.
Yeah.
How would we, I suppose, cut through that? And what would you say to somebody thinking about exploring inner circle?
I would definitely say dive in and do it. You will get far more out of Inner Circle than you ever thought at the beginning. Because it's not just a property space. Yes, there's obviously lots of property chat and lots of guidance and stuff, but you're really good at getting to people to think about themselves as individuals and what they're wanting for themselves and their family, and doing some of that inner work that you don't get in a lot of like property spaces or property courses that are sold out there. And that is kind of what aligned with me. I obviously saw something in you that meant that I thought I was going to get that, because that's the type of person that I am. It's not. It is all about the individual, and kind of working on yourself and being the best version of you, so that you can be the best version for other people.
I absolutely love that. And also it was a treat to share the retreat with you. You came on the
I
retreat.
did,
What
yes.
was the retreat like?
Oh, the retreat was amazing. Just such a, so obviously it was different people from inner circle, so it was some people that I'd never met before. But again, you're really good at bringing the right group of people together. Lots of nature and fresh air, which again is my kind of thing, and just lots of kind of in-depth conversations and really getting to understand people's whys, and why they're doing it, and what their plans are. And obviously being in the Lake District, beautiful part of the world. So yeah, I would say if you're going to go on in the circle, please try and make sure you can go on the adventure retreat as well.
Yeah, awesome. Well, brilliant. Thank you so much. Um, and if people have listened to you and they want to connect with you, maybe they're interested in exploring and getting support around the detail behind their business, what's the best way of them doing that?
Okay, so at the minute, so I haven't, so I put in the inner circle group about a potential business name,
Mhm.
and so I will reveal that I'm going to go with the property concierge.
Lovely. Yeah.
So I haven't got any social media set up for it as yet, but you can email me if you want at info@vdhproperty.co.uk if you want to reach out with, any admin questions really.
Mhm.
More than happy for you to connect with me that way for now. But yeah, look out for the property concierge coming on social media.
Fantastic. I absolutely love it. So, I would definitely say if you have an existing portfolio and you know that one of the things that you need to attend to is some of the detail, particularly in light of this new legislation that's, is going to have far-reaching consequences, and we need to attend to the detail more than ever. You need to connect to Vicky. Vicky, it's been an absolute pleasure. It was a thrill, to enjoy in a circle with you. It was a great experience having you at the retreat as well, and everything you brought to that. Thank you so much for, yeah, a fabulous year together.
Thank you.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So please do connect with Vicky and explore, what she's doing. And thank you very much for listening to the podcast. See you soon. Take care.